Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So let me just put this on Facebook. Anywho, okay. If you experience technical difficulties, oopsie. Please join me on my YouTube platform. All right, and then I'm just going to pin that business. So I'm going to do a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers, also for those of us who find ourselves on this channel without any Piscean anything. You're probably an empath. You're probably needing messages from your soul. Okay, so I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard was so many moments that you didn't realize. And I'm kind of curious what it was that you didn't realize because, I mean, your girl want to know. I want to know, what was it that we did not realize on accident? Just saying. There's a lot of things that we as Pisceans don't realize. I think maybe because we don't want to realize it. Maybe we don't want to realize it. That's okay. That's okay if we don't want to realize things, but it doesn't help us if we don't realize things, right? So, as I'm getting the cards ready, how is everyone? How are y'all? And for those who are watching on Facebook, please do share me out. Share this out. Spam it out, baby. Spam it out. Just share me all over. Let's see what kind of moths we attract. All right, so I'm going to pull a couple from here. I'm using all new decks. Super excited about this. I love these decks. But I got to make sure I keep them separate because I'm weird like that. I'm just weird like that. All right. We're trying to figure out what it is that we have kind of missed out on. What type of things have we suffered through because we weren't paying attention, or maybe we were paying attention and we haven't been able to allow ourselves to be honest with ourselves, right? Because sometimes we know what's going on, we just don't want to believe it. Oops. It's a little too honest. No, it's true though. Oftentimes we know exactly what's going on. We just don't really want to believe it. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to want to believe anything, but you will experience the consequences of that. Okay. Is because we're seeking the lesson. We are allowing ourselves to be exposed to the very situations, the very people that will help us to learn quite a bit. Okay. And oftentimes, unfortunately, Pisceans and empaths, we have a tendency to learn in the most difficult way possible. That it has to be viscerally felt. It's a type of learning where it's like we have to experience tremendous hurt before we can actually accept things as they are. Just one of our quirks. Stay strong. Ooh. It's okay for you to experience periods of wavering, right? Where you're kind of like, I don't know if I can do this. This is really hard. I don't know if I have what it takes. That's fine. You can have those questions. What's not fine is when you start to believe those questions and choose to make them your truth. You know what I mean? When you begin to identify as the doubt, that's going to create a lot more problems for you than if you were just to allow yourself to question. Okay. There's nothing wrong with questioning. There is nothing wrong at all with questioning. Doubting yourself is not the same thing as questioning. Okay. When you doubt yourself, it's like you're consistently being given the validation, that validation that you're seeking. You're consistently being given that, but you don't want to accept it. That's up to you if you don't want to accept it. But if you're consistently being given the validation, why do you not want to accept it? There are many, many things that I've been validated by my soul, this personal conversation that I have between self and soul. And the things that I'm doubting are being validated. And it's still hard for me to accept it, to embrace it. It's hard for me to understand it. And you know what I end up doing is I'm just like, all right, I'm being shown that this is the right path. I'm being shown that I'm doing the right thing. I'm not intentionally hurting or harming anyone. So let me just flow with it. Let me see where this will go. Let me see where my life will take me. And let me just be open to whatever this experience is. And when I do that, what ends up happening is I end up having the most profound learning cycle. And sometimes it involves pain, sometimes it involves hurt, disappointment. Most times, when I allow myself to just flow, it's kind of this like just this process of realization like, oh my gosh, I already saw this, but I just didn't want to believe it. Like yesterday, I was having a conversation with my husband about some of the stuff that's been going on. And he mentioned like you already knew, but I know you didn't want to believe it because when you love someone, like genuinely love someone, whether it's romantic or platonic, you want to believe the best about them. At least that's how I am. If I have genuine love for you, not just the kind of love that I have for pretty much everybody, but if I have this personal love for you where you're part of my innermost, um, like I don't want to see anything negative about you. I'll intentionally blind myself to the things that you do because I choose to believe in your potentiality, in the goodness that lives within you, whether you tap into it or not. Like to me, it's irrelevant. Like that goodness exists, and I will protect that goodness, and I will make excuses for you, and all sorts of different things. But see, when we do that, it creates more problems. It becomes a much bigger problem. What could have just been a simple conversation from the start then becomes something very, very drawn out and ugly. It has a potential to be very, very ugly because we get people accustomed to us making excuses for them. And and then when you finally say something, it's like you're the bad one. Have you guys ever experienced that where you're not in denial about the kind of person that you are, and you've been nothing but supportive and nice. And then suddenly, when you can't take whatever's going on anymore and you can't make any more excuses, and you realize it's important to say something at this point, suddenly you're the bad one. You're the one attacking and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know that you were necessarily attacking, but it sounds like this is a situation where you kept quiet for far too long, where you allowed and allowed and allowed. And so they thought that it was okay. They thought that they were in the right. And that's something that we definitely have to take accountability for. We have to take accountability for that. Relationships, friendships, family connections, they change. The dynamics change. They shift as you grow as individuals and together. And when that dynamic continues to grow and you continue to be the anchor point to reality, when you unplug that, it's like, oh my God, you are so inconsiderate. How dare you? You're throwing everybody for a loop. You're being so selfish. But in reality, you're just done being the anchor. You're done. The rope has snapped and you're done. It didn't have to be that way. it didn't have to be that way because you could have said something. And it's scary. It's very, very scary to think about what you should say, what needs to be said. It's a very scary thing. Find your courage in the face of that fear and speak up if you need to speak your truth, if you need to make your needs known, if you need to make it very, very clear that, this has become very unbalanced. This is something that's not healthy for you anymore, where maybe things need to be reconsidered so that way you can reestablish a healthier balance between the two of you. And you'll always know where you stand with someone, because when that type of conversation comes up, when it's time to have that type of conversation, if they truly love you, they will either ask questions or they will try and clarify. They won't just like leave. They won't just try and gaslight you. All of these different things. They will try and have communication. Like for me personally, I'm not a perfect person. Okay. I'm so far removed from perfect. I have all of my insecurities and my traumas and this and that affect my personal relationships. And with that, um, most people, I understand they're not going to be in my life long term for most people. Okay. And I kind of just allow that to be whatever it is. If it's going to be something that's an intense connection for a short period, then that's what it is. If it's something that's going to be drawn out for years and then all of a sudden years later, it crashes and burns, and that's what it is. And it's kind of just, it is what it is. That's how I see it. But for very, very rare instances, what ends up happening is I really commit to that, whatever it is. And when I commit to that, I'm committed to that. I am willing to talk through whatever. Granted, I have a very hard time initiating the conversations, but I'm willing to. I'm willing to swallow my pride. I'm willing for you to call me out on whatever I've done. I'm willing. And if you don't make things clear, there's going to be a lot of struggle within that connection. Okay. There's going to be a lot of struggle within that connection, a lot of miscommunication, first and foremost. And that miscommunication eventually ends up being a sense of entitlement for one, which is probably the person who's not the overgiver, and a sense of depletion, unfairness, lack of appreciation for the one who keeps overgiving. It's something that always will end up in a very painful split, unless it's a very genuine, true depth of love type of connection. Okay. And this is not just romance, this absolutely ties into friendship, business partnerships, all sorts of different connections. Okay. All sorts of different connections. So we have to be aware of the way our lack of willingness to address the issue, basically our avoidance, how that affects the way things progress. The longer you wait to say something, the more that unhealthy dynamic is allowed to take root. A small, tiny weed is a lot easier to pull out than one that's grown to 3 feet tall. So just think about that. Okay. I'm not saying anyone has to do something right here, right now. I'm saying we need to begin the process of assessing where we are within our journey, within ourselves, and how that's affected all our different connections with other people. So, do not fear the unknown. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Do not fear the unknown. I think it's our fear of what people will do if they hear, if they see that we don't feel loved, we don't feel appreciated, that we've overgiven, that they've overreceived. I think we're very afraid of how that will be received. And just because you're afraid does not mean you have to continue that cycle. It doesn't mean that. You can kind of quietly take a step back to reassess, or you can speak up and ask, like, hey, I'm noticing blah, blah, blah. What's up? That's hard to do. Let's be real. That's hard to do, but it's not impossible. How badly do you want to fight for your balance? How badly do you want to fight your fear to find balance within your life? How badly? Do you want it bad enough? Do you want it at all? Have you convinced yourself you don't deserve that? Like, you don't deserve the balance. You don't deserve a more peaceful type of dynamic. I mean, we have to assess what we've convinced ourselves. Have we allowed ourselves to believe other people's logic? Because, people will invite us to be specific characters in their movie, in their storyline, right? They'll invite us to either be their hero or their next villain. And let me just tell you what I learned. Every single time I've been invited to be someone's hero and I accepted that role, the hero is always the future villain. The hero is always the future villain. Really let yourself hear that, the gravity of that statement. When you want to play the hero, you're volunteering to become the future villain. Okay? Now, that's not to say I'm not going to help anyone. That's to say I'm not your hero. I am your equal. I see you are struggling. I'm reaching my hand out to help. No, I do not want you to worship me. No, I do not want you to follow me. No, no, no. I don't need this to be some public display of my altruism or anything like that. Like, no, I don't need any of that. I am your equal. I see you struggling. I'm reaching my hand out to help you. And that's that. Okay. This is what I've learned. And, I've always been very private about the ways in which I help people. But I've learned the nuance of when someone begins to see me as their hero, their savior, I need to speak up on that immediately. I need to be like, no, we're equals. It's my hope that had I been the one struggling, that you would have felt drawn to help. It's okay if you don't, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to be the change that I'm seeking. I'm not trying to be anyone's hero. Just really making that very clear. It's important for us to have clarity at this point. There's a lot of shifting going on within dynamics, within the world at large, within communities and all sorts of different things, right? You have to make sure that you are always firmly rooted in that shifting. You don't want to topple over. It's okay if you topple over, but wouldn't you prefer not to? Right? Yeah, I mean, it'd be more convenient if you didn't. If you topple over, just get back up. It's no biggie. No biggie. Okay. Ooh, observe in silence. Ooh. Observe in silence. Allow yourself to really just very neutrally observe people and their behaviors. Just observe. Allow yourself to see very quietly, no judgment, no condemnations. Judgment is necessary, condemnation is not. But this observation of not even allowing yourself to judge, like, it does, should this be condemned? Is this acceptable? No, just observe. Like, really, truly observe the whole thing before you begin the process of judging what this means. Okay. You don't even have to understand it, just witnessing it. That's a super important part, because when you watch someone for long enough, what ends up happening is you begin to see the patterns of their behavior. So I know I said you have to speak up, but sometimes you have to wait to speak up. I know it sounds contradictory, but you have to assess your situation for yourself, whether it's time you've already done all the observation and now it's time to speak up, or you're simply starting to become aware of what the situation is. So you need to observe a little bit longer. I found that when I observe for, a little bit longer, if not weeks, then months, if not months, full on years that I'm observing people, I get a very good sense of who they are, their patterns, and what they do. A lot of the things that people communicate are not spoken. Okay. Empaths can feel a lot, but here's the thing: how many empaths can do readings for other people? How many empaths can scan other people? Because if you can do that, then you've probably worked through much of your disbelief in your abilities. If you cannot do that at a level where you can provide a paid service, you probably still have quite a bit of that self doubt, that disbelief in your gifts and yourself. So it's not about like if you get paid, you're better. No, 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 no. I'm saying you've let go of that disbelief because I mean you can't exactly be paid for a session if you don't know what you're telling your client. You know what I mean? If you're just making stuff up. I guess you could, but that makes you a really shitty person. I know a couple of those. I know a couple of those fake ass shitty people. Be careful with that. Anywho, steering away from that tangent. Um, what I'm trying to get at is if you haven't done the work to develop your sense of um, perception of your abilities, it's going to be very hard for you to make sense of what you're feeling. You're going to feel something, you're going to know what it is, and then you're going to take more time than you would ever take believing it. And you would spend that time convincing yourself you're wrong, that you just made it up. And let me be very clear, frank and clear. Okay. Crystal frank over here. I have tremendous empathic ability. I know when people are lying. I know when people are keeping secrets. I can feel your entire life story to the degree that I can provide a service that is extremely accurate for most people. I cannot read for myself. I can read your life. I can see how things play out for a few months in advance, years in advance. For some people, I've seen how you become unalive. Like, it's very accurate. I can see very, very clearly, but I'm blind when it comes to me. Why? What I believe. I don't believe that. Well, there's no way. I'm just like, little old me. And I'm not even trying to play humble. I like truly believe that. Like, there's no way. It's just little me. There's no special nothing. Yeah, I can do stuff, but I mean, I've always been able to do stuff. What's the big deal? I have all these tools that I can use to heighten my awareness, yet I can't do it for myself. I can. Let me make this very clear. I can do it for myself. And then I spend the rest of that time convincing myself that there's no way. Years ago, for one of my children, I knew within hours that I was pregnant. I knew within hours, like, oh no, oh no, oh no, I know I did not feel that. Nope, that's not what's happening. Nope, there's no way, there's no way. No, that's not true. Oh, it was absolutely true. It was absolutely true. It was absolutely true. Um, and it's one of those things where just because you feel it doesn't mean you'll believe it. And if you don't believe it, what good is the message? It's not good because you're going to disregard it. You're going to toss it aside. So observe, okay? Instead of doing what you're doing, Just observe. Stop jumping to conclusions. Stop assuming. Observe. People can only fake with you for so long before you start to notice the patterns that tell you the truth of their intentions, the truth of how they feel towards you, how they regard you. Okay. Follow the moon. Ooh. For me, this is saying follow the flow of your energy, the tide, that ebb and flow, the high tide, low tide of your life. The moon is that feminine energy, that yin energy, that dark energy, that receiving energy. Follow the moon, okay? Follow the things that are hidden because the moon in the tarot deck, I don't know how I remember this, but it also represents the things that are being obscured from view, things that are being hidden from you. So it's almost like this thing of maybe someone is hiding something from you. And maybe you already know who and what it is, but it's very difficult for you to believe it. Things that hurt are difficult to believe, but it's going to hurt you more if you continue to lie to yourself about what's happening. I don't know what this means. I don't know how it applies to you. I don't know if it's about a romantic relationship or if it's about a friendship or if it's about work or if it's about something legal or if it's about, I don't know. You do, though. You know. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and I just felt someone get nervous. You know. I know it's hard to accept that you know, but you actually do. You actually know what's happening. You know what's being hidden from you, but it's hurting you, so you don't wanna see it. You don't wanna believe it. I promise you, if you continue down that path, it's gonna hurt you even worse further down the road. Address it now if you can find the courage. If you can't, then just quietly observe for a while longer. You'll see. You'll see everything. You'll see it all. You'll see everything that I'm talking about. This is a general reading. I'm not necessarily reading for a specific person. I don't even read the cards based on what the card creator defines the card as. Someone commented that, like, you need to. No, I don't. They're called ClairTarot readings for a reason. That I'm using cards to clarify my vision, my knowing. I don't need to memorize whatever the words are in the deck. This is about honing in on messages that my ADHD would normally have me completely, I don't even notice. Okay. This is about really allowing the truth of these energies to come forward and be noticed by me and then spoken out loud by me. So, see yourself in nature. Okay. His face. I don't know why his face did something. Um, see yourself in your natural state. How are you? Are you okay? Are you okay? How long have you not been okay? How long have you hidden it from yourself? No, people won't know because you've been the rock this whole time. They don't know something's wrong. You hide it really, really well. You even hid it from yourself for how long? There's no way for anyone else to know. They might see you get frustrated. They don't know how deep that frustration goes. They don't know how hard you've been struggling. If you want them to know, you have to say something. I know. What if you say something and they don't care? What if they do? What if they do? Now, if you lose everyone in your life, I'm very sorry that you go through that sense of abandonment. I'm very, very sorry for that. But have you ever thought that maybe a large portion of those people you lose after a certain point are lost because of your lack of communication? Because I'm kind of feeling like that might be the case. Your lack of communication might be the reason why you lose a large portion of the people in your life at this point. So communicate your need. Let the people who you know care about you know what's going on. You don't have to go on a live stream. You don't have to tell everybody. There's such a thing as privacy, you know? You can keep your privacy. You can live with dignity. Just because I share some stuff here online doesn't mean I share my entire life online. It doesn't mean that. I maintain my privacy, quite a bit of it. The things that are closest to me, I don't share publicly. Why? Because that's for me. So if you think you have to tell everyone and that's your reason for not telling the people who actually love and care for you, that you're struggling right now, I don't know that you're helping yourself. I don't know that that's healthy for you. I don't know that that's what you need. I don't. I don't know that that's what you need. And you can always tell. You can always tell when someone is in denial of how they make the problems for themselves. When they start hearing this type of conversation, they're quick to leave. That's why nothing will ever change for their life. They never want to hear anything that contradicts the story of their victimhood. Quite a few people left on Facebook. Good, toxic ass motherfuckers. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I should have started the freaking reading with that. I'm just saying. Um, that's so hard for me. I hate sharing. Seems easier to process shit on my own. Oh, Yogi. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm like that too. I'm like that too. I like go deep, deep, deep into myself. And it becomes this thing of like, is it because it's hard for me to share, or is it a fear that if I share, that will give people the reason to like cut me out? That will give them the validation because maybe they already don't like me. And now I'm giving them that excuse to really truly be upfront with not liking me, you know? It's a trauma response. I'm realizing that when I do that, it's a trauma response. It's this way of protecting myself. Like if I see myself in my natural state, I see that I have all of these trauma responses still in place. And it has a lot to do with me giving myself permission to move beyond that space of trauma. It's taken me so much to live stream on Facebook again. Like, it's taken me so much, so much, like ridiculous amounts of effort. I left Facebook in like 2018. Yeah. They were beautiful, profound conversations that I used to have on those live streams. And then when I kind of just tried to maintain just a little bit of, I guess, a presence on Facebook, here and there, I would go live and it would just be like bullshit conversations of makeup and not that makeup is bullshit. I love makeup. And not that makeup is bullshit, but I'm just saying the conversations that I would have was just me bullshitting, you know, just like very casual conversations and me doing makeup so I didn't have to really allow myself to be focused on conversing with people. That's a trauma response. It's a trauma response. We have to work through that. We do. If we want to grow, if we want to exit out of the places that continue to hurt us, that continue to break our heart, we have to allow ourselves to see how we're the ones who are breaking it in the first place. Now, that's not to say there aren't people who, you know, are more than willing to break your heart for you. There are quite a few of those. There are. Some intentionally, some unintentionally, but there are quite a few people who are more than willing to be hurtful. That's just kind of how the world is. We're the first and foremost, though. We're the ones that break our own heart by trying to put other people before us, by considering their needs. Not, let's be honest here. When we consider things, most of the time it has nothing to do with someone else's needs. Nothing. Has everything to do with creating an ease and comfort for someone else so that we can hopefully be worthy of being in their presence. I found that every time I've done something for someone else's preference, um, that's been the very thing that's betrayed me. That my generosity, my kindness, all the positive attributes that I have, those are exploited. Those are very much used and then tossed aside. And I'm not a victim, though. I'm just not. When you willingly enter into a connection where you know the person is capable of that, and you instead choose to believe that you're going to be the exception, eh, I don't know that you're the victim there. I don't know that you deserve what happened. I don't necessarily feel that. But I don't think you're innocent there either. When you hang out with people who are capable of those types of things, you know the exact risk that you're taking. And if you choose to believe that you're so far beyond all of us little people that you're not going to be hurt by this person, um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that when I interact with people who are capable of certain things, that I know, and I'm very clear with myself that if you can do that to someone, you can definitely do that to me. It's just given the right, quote unquote, right circumstance, you will do that to me. Yeah. I'm aware I'm not that special. I'm a regular human being. I'm not that special that I'm going to be the exception to your rule of very toxic trauma responses. No, I know I'm not that special, you know? So we have to be very, very aware of the ways in which we allow ourselves to volunteer for this kind of stuff. Like we're actually volunteering for this. It's crazy. When I realized that I was doing this, I realized I was volunteering for it. So here's my thing. Um, if you come to me and you have no problem talking caca about someone else because they did you dirty, and you're giving me their name and all, like, mm, I don't know what really happened, but you're not to be trusted. No. Mhm. Thank you for showing me, though. Thank you for showing me, because it's only a matter of time before you don't get what you want from me, then you're gonna do the same thing to me. And I listen very carefully. It's usually people who are like, um, they feel they've been failed in some way because they didn't get what they wanted. Now, that's not everyone that comes to me, okay? I'm not talking about sessions, I'm talking about people who message me privately. Um, that's not to say that there haven't been people who just shared that they went through something, and they're not necessarily trying to talk caca about someone. They're just like, I've this is the stuff that I've lived through, and that's kind of just like, this is why I'm the way I am. And I'm kind of just like, I get it. I get it. I feel you on that. And these are the people who tend to not even share who did what. And it's not like I want to make clear, because we live in a society where we are taught to protect the people who harm us by not revealing their identity. Okay. So when there's an actual criminal act, fuck yeah, reveal their identity. Say that shit from the mountaintops. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. When it's like you're having a personal conflict with someone, you guys are having a disagreement, do you need to tell everyone that you disagreed? Because how do you know you were even right? Now, granted, your feelings might have been hurt, but how do you know you were right in that? What makes your opinion so much more valid than the person who didn't agree with you? Nothing. Nothing. So there's times where, yeah, I will share some of the things that I've lived through because part of what I'm doing is providing you a template from which you can see how you can grow. So I'm not here to exist as this perfection where I'm hiding all of the things, the difficult things that I go through, just to be able to provide you this professional looking product. Like I'm not just a product, I'm a living, breathing human being. And my work happens to be helping other people to see how to be a healthier, living, breathing human being, right? Right. So it's just one of those things where you have to see the nuances in some of the moments that you've been really, really struggling through. If you can't allow yourself to see the nuances and be honest with yourself about those nuances, dang, that's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard because that's like blinding yourself, removing one eye, and you'll never see what's happening on this side. And maybe that's what you wanted. You wanted to maybe not see. That's okay if you want to avoid it, but just know when something comes charging at you from that side, running full speed, that's going to blindside you. Part of what makes me a very stable person in my life, yes, I experience emotions. That's not evidence of instability. That's evidence of emotional maturity that I can process my emotions. Get that shit straight right here, right now. Let's explore that really quick. Really quick. Why is it that when you experience emotions and you're able to process it externally, I'm not talking about just crying all the time because that's instability. I'm talking about having a genuine emotional response to a very traumatic experience. No, I don't need to be quiet and stop crying to make you feel more comfortable with the fact that you don't care. It's not me being unstable. That's called emotional maturity. The fact that I have no fear of you witnessing me processing my emotions is not instability. It's called maturity. If the world had a little bit more of that, I think we wouldn't be where we're at right now. Because where we're at right now really sucks. It really, really sucks. You know? It sucks. I think if we were able to process more of our feelings instead of stuffing it down out of shame, out of guilt, because we don't want to inconvenience people. Fuck their convenience for real, yo. I don't give a damn about their convenience. Their existence is inconveniencing my emotional processing. How about that? How about that? Did you ever consider that someone else's presence in your journey is inconveniencing your processing of your life? It's time for you to begin really protecting yourself, not just building these walls that eventually become your prison. You're incarcerating yourself for what? So people can feel more comfortable in their denial of their own misery? That's unnecessary. It's time for you to begin really processing your life. If you yourself do not feel comfortable doing it in front of other people yet, honor that. Don't force yourself to do that. But work up the courage to begin with maybe just one person, the person you trust the most, and maybe the next person you trust, and then maybe the next. And then eventually you will see you are a beautiful flower in the process of blooming. The flower doesn't open all at once. Petal by petal, it slowly unfolds. Trauma by trauma, you will begin to release the very things that have kept you very tight within yourself. But you have to choose this. If you don't choose it, then life will choose situations that will break your resolve to remain closed. And then you wonder, why is life trying to break me? Life's not trying to break you down, baby. Life's trying to break you open. You can either choose to bloom or you can be hammered away by your life. Those are choices that need to be made. And if life has been hammering away at you, I think maybe you need to begin questioning why, you know, like why, what's been going on. And we can't just keep saying it's someone else, someone outside of us. We can't just keep with this narrative of black magic. Someone's doing black magic. Someone's cursing me. Someone's this, someone's that. No, how about maybe someone be honest with you for once and say, you're in denial of what you're doing. The toxic one in your life is you. Doesn't mean you deserve a bad life. It means I love you enough to be honest with you and tell you the truth. The only toxic one is you. If you address that, you'll remove toxicity from your life. You know, I was thinking this morning, the way other people treat you is a direct indication of how you treat yourself silently. Yeah. A new layer of trauma was unlocked for me this weekend. It was amazing. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic. It was amazing. It's cathartic being able to look back and see, like, oh, that's what my soul was teaching me. Oh my goodness. I had someone who was very near and dear to me once upon a time um, say that, you know, I wasn't being a good friend, that I was taking advantage, yet provided no evidence of how I was taking advantage. And I have so much documentation of how all I've done is overgive. So is it about a person? No. What is my soul telling me there? I have all this evidence, which is you guys, that prove to me I'm a good person, yet I still continue to question, am I a good person? Yes, the fuck I am. Do I give enough? Yes, the fuck I do. Am I taking advantage by like letting you guys help me with things? No, the fuck I don't. And I need to learn this completely, totally, wholeheartedly at this point. Because if I'm going to take my life, my purpose to the next level, that trauma cannot follow me there. It cannot come with me. Even if I fold it nicely and put it in a beautiful Tiffany's box with that white ribbon, that cannot be placed in my luggage. No, that is a trauma that no longer belongs to me. And because I wouldn't take care of that learning on my own terms, in my own way, well, then my life presented me with a situation that forced me to see it. So it's not about trying to say a former friend is a bad person. I don't think they are. It's to say that what I went through is pretty fucked up. Yeah, it is. But was it intentional on either part? No. Am I angry? I'm disappointed. Very disappointed. Yeah. Sometimes I feel a little bit angry because of like the way things were presented to me. Uh, but am I angry at them? No, they have their own traumas they're dealing with, their own traumas that were triggered by our conversation. And was not my intention to trigger traumas. It was my intention to communicate clearly, effectively, efficiently. And things kind of just went the way they did. And I'm grateful for that. Because just like how that friend can continue with me to the next level of my life, neither can the trauma that they helped me become aware of. So at the end of the day, I'm still grateful. I'm grateful. And yeah, no, it was very difficult to process that. It was. It was very, very difficult to process that. My face is still kinda swollen from all of the from all of the emotions. My face is still kinda puffy. That's okay, I'm not embarrassed. There's nothing wrong with me crying over the loss of somebody. That's not instability. That friendship was real for me. It was real for me. And to realize it wasn't reciprocated, for quite some time, yeah, that hurts. Because 'cause I'm a real person, I'm not fake. When you matter to me, you matter to me, and in your exit, if you exit, that's gonna hurt. Now, I'm not ashamed to share that. Why would I be ashamed to share that? Because I'm a real person capable of real love. Real love. Not the kind of love where it's like, I only love you so long as I benefit from you, and now that, you're cutting out, like, "Fuck you." Yeah, I said, "Fuck you" yesterday because fuck that shit. You're not gonna gaslight me. No. I'm not a bad person, because 'cause I've done the introspection to see exactly what lives inside me. Yes, there are still insecurities there. I probably will always have some type of insecurity. I'm human. The goal was never to never have insecurity or struggle. The goal is to find the courage to process and thrive in the face of fear and struggle. I'd say I'm succeeding with that. I would say I'm succeeding with that. That even though I feel fear here and there, and even though I struggle here and there, I can still continue to be a very bright light for myself. I mean, if y'all see me as a bright light, thank you. I have gratitude for that. But the intention and purpose of my light is to make sure I don't lose my way. And that's that. That's how I see it. I'm not gonna do this martyrdom anymore, where it's like, I exist for everyone else. My light is for you. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Here's the truth. I truly hope whatever light that emanates from me benefits you as profoundly as it benefits me. My light is for me, but I hope that you can benefit from being in proximity. I truly hope that. But I'm sorry I don't exist for other people anymore. It's enough to exist for yourself. It truly is. It's enough for you to exist for yourself and to know that in that type of existence where you're existing for yourself as authentically as possible, you are gifting other people with the same courage that you struggled so badly to find for yourself. Like, ooh, damn. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? And it's not even the selfishness because even in my process of learning to love myself and accept that I am enough, it's no longer enough to say I'm enough. I have to take it a step further and accept the phrase that I am enough, right? There's nothing selfish about it. There's just nothing selfish about it. The thing you worry about the most is the thing that you actually are. So for some people, you're worried that people will find out that you've been lying. Well, that's because you're a liar. If you don't want someone to call you a liar, don't be a liar and you won't be worried about it. Do I ever have to worry about people finding out that I've lied? No, because I don't lie. I don't lie to you guys. I don't like make shit up just for the sake of like what? Views? Who cares? But see, on the flip side of that, I have this weird fear of like people knowing what I do for other people. It's kind of like, why the fuck am I worried about that shit? I don't know. Shit. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I when I help other people, like I half the time they don't know who I am. I don't tell them who I am. I don't tell them my name. I don't tell them the work I do. I just help and then I keep on with my day. And no, I don't document it. I don't document it. That's for me. I don't know why I don't share it. And it's this thing of maybe if I shared more of that, more people would be inspired to help other people and they'd understand the gravity of why I work so hard. I work so hard so I can have more to give more. And anyone who knows me knows that about me. That's just a fact. Anyone who knows me, really, that's just not in question at all. I work more to earn more to give more. And if that's how you are, hey, as a reflection of you, it's okay for you to keep some for yourself now. It's okay for you to take a day off. I think you've already proven who you are. I think many of us have. And I think despite the fact that we've proven it to so many people, we still question it for ourselves. It's okay to question. It's not okay to doubt. When everyone sees the same thing coming out of you, you have to begin questioning why you can't see it yourself. If you can't accept what other people see, you have to question that. So I'm at a point where so many of you see me in the same way. I don't really see myself in that way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't see myself in that way. And you guys see me as something profound, and I just don't see that. But it's okay. I'm going to accept that. I'm not going to disrespect your perception by trying to negate it. I'm just going to accept it. And I'm going to accept the fact that there's a high likelihood that you can see me more clearly than I can see myself. So I'm going to have to just believe you. I'm going to have to just accept that that's how you see me. That's okay. That's okay. And I know a lot of empaths go through this where they don't understand how people can see them in the way that they're being seen. And that works in the positive and the negative. The positive and the negative. I find that there's probably going to be a lot of people who can relate to this, but once upon a time, I was more willing and readily able to accept someone's hateful perception of me than I was to accept someone's positive perception. It's crazy, right? So I'd have several hundred people telling me that I'm amazing, that I'm a good person, that I've so positively affected their lives. And then I'd have one person, "You're a total bitch, selfish," and that's the one person I hear before, once upon a time. That's the one person that I would hear. That was the one person that would have so much gravity, who would be gifted so much real estate in my mind. And now I'm just like, "Fuck you too, bitch." Okay, cunt waffle cake. You don't like me? Good. I don't like you either. And whereas before I'd be like, "Oh my God, you guys, is it true? They said blah, blah, blah. Is it true?" Now I'm like, "I don't give a shit if it's true. I don't like what you said. I don't like you. Oh well, keep it moving, girl. Keep it moving." I don't care. I don't care in the most neutral sense of not caring, like it's irrelevant to me. If it doesn't grow me, if it doesn't empower me, if it doesn't further ripen my love for myself, my life, and my purpose, if it doesn't increase my passion for myself, my life, and my purpose, I really don't give a shit. See that? The thumb's the only finger left. That's not enough to be holding a big ass toxic thing. See, you can hold things like this, right? Not like this. That's not enough for me to hold on to that shit. I might for a little bit, but I promise you, my grip's weak. It'll cramp. I promise you, I'll let that shit go real fucking fast. Once the thumb cramps, I'm just like, I'm good. Oops, sorry. That's none of my business. That's none of my business no more. Okay. Someone tell me they hate me. You feel better? You feel better now? You feel better? You got some of that toxicity out? Need a little tissue for wipe some shit off your mouth? Because talking so much shit, you left some on your lip. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. For real. I'm good off people who don't know me trying to make proclamations about me. Let that sink in a little bit. Heed your dreams. Ooh. What are you dreaming? What's your dream? What's your passion? What is it? What do you dream? What is your dream life? What are you passionate about? What do you want to bring to fruition, but you're afraid to because you've somehow convinced yourself that you don't deserve it, that there's no way? What is it? Because I'm pretty sure that's what your purpose is. I just answered everyone's question of what's my purpose. What are you the most afraid to achieve? That's what your purpose is. But Emmy, I mean, I'm afraid to sing in front of other people. That can't be my purpose. I mean, I'm not saving anyone. How many of you have listened to a song? It doesn't have to be like a popular song, but how many of you have listened to a song during a period where you were just not really wanting to be around anymore? And it was that song that kept you waking up the next day. How many of you? So don't tell me that the thing you dream of, it's not valid. And sometimes the thing that you dream of, that you're the most scared about, the thing that's your purpose, I mean, sometimes it seems so far fetched, right? I've been an introvert my whole life. I know you can't tell on live streams, but y'all, I'm talking in a room by myself. My vision is pretty bad, so I actually can't make out your faces in your little profile pictures. I can't make out your faces. They look like colorful blobs. So serious. I'm so serious right now. So in reality, I'm talking to myself. The only thing I see is me. Part of the dreams that I've had as a child, all the way through till now, they're scary. I'm supposed to be talking in front of a lot of people. That's scary. That's not online stuff, yo. That's in person stuff. That's not fun. That's scary. Like, I'm serious. That's scary shit for me. And it's this thing that's like, why am I afraid of it? Well, because I know to specific degrees at this point, that's part of my purpose. That's my purpose. It's my purpose. Right, Louise. Aren't we all just colorful blobs? Yes. Yes. So change is unavoidable. As I continue to see that visual of where my life is headed, I'm going to have to eventually begin to change the way I see my purpose, the way I see my purpose playing out, my plans for how that purpose will realize, and yada, yada, yada. Change is inevitable. It's the only thing guaranteed. Oh my gosh, Chris. Chris Fossey says, I've come so far with your help on my journey that I no longer suffer mental illness. I no longer suffer mental illness, and the love that now surrounds me is surreal and can't thank you enough. Oh my goodness. That makes me so happy for you. That makes me so happy for you. You've been through a lot. I remember the first times we interacted, your mom was having a lot of struggles with health. And then she transitioned, and that hurt you really badly. I'm glad to see that life is being more gentle with you now. Everyone needs a little bit of gentleness, you know? Everyone needs that every once in a while. And I'm glad life is giving that to you now, Chris. I truly do. All right. Oh, my mind goes blank too, Moonrock. Moonrock says, you do speak very well, though. For me, sometimes my mind goes blank when I'm talking to someone and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. For a very long time, if strangers talk to me, I would feel like crying. I would start to shake, and then my eyes would get very watery, and then I'd be like, I gotta go. I gotta go. And I would look away. And mind you, back then I was like super skinny, right? So my eyes look really big to begin with. And when I open them bigger, they become huge. All right. So let your emotions flow. Just really allow yourself to purge out all of these things that have been stuffed up simply because you felt like you didn't have other people's permission to feel. Okay. Who the hell they think they is, God? Yo, people trying to act like they're your God by trying to what? Dictate when you're allowed to feel things and not how you're supposed to live. I'm sorry. Unless you are my God or I traversed your vaginal canal, those two reasons, you're going to have to be snipped out. No, you don't get to tell me how to live. You don't get to tell me my value. You don't get to tell me any of that. You have to weave your reality. You have to be the one to actually weave your reality. You are the one creating it. It comes from you. The spider's web comes from their spinnerets. That's fluid that's excreted by their body. They don't, God doesn't go around and install new thread spindles. You know what I'm saying? Okay. A lot of the things that we, enjoy or observe from other animals, that's produced from their body. Okay. Did you guys hear the one about how birds? Let me not. Let me not. Let me not. Miss L sexy over here. She's like, do it, do it. Oh my God. You are so Universal D's twin. Where is USD at? That fool's not here, is he? For a second, I thought it was Universal D commenting that. I was going to be like, no. And then I realized it's you commenting it. We're just going to leave that there. Set it free. Set it free. Okay. You see that? You see that? See that right there? That's your wisdom being released. That's your wisdom being released. Okay. Let your wisdom go. Stop trying to cage it up. Stop trying to, All of these things that we do to diminish it. Excuse me. Anywho, choose love. Choose love. I'm not trying to match make, Louise. I'm sorry that your energy reeks of universal tea. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's my adopted son. Anywho, choose love. Okay. Allow yourself to choose the things that make you feel very in love with you and your life. There's this saying that I saw somewhere once. It's this thing of maybe people don't fall in love with you. Maybe they fall in love with the way you make them feel about themselves. And I felt that. I really, really felt that. Because then it would explain why, the why of how people could proclaim how much they love me, only to then turn around and be like, oh, I hate her. Well, because now you're not being fed all the goodness and made to feel good about yourself. Now you're realizing the reality of how you're behaving. And so now you don't like me. So that's definitely something we have to consider, that sometimes when people tell us they love us, what they're really trying to communicate is that they love the way we make them feel about themselves. Okay. You should begin doing that for you, is what I'm trying to say. Blinded by bias. That whole choose love thing. It's almost like this question of, um, no, I don't even want to ask the question. I don't even want to ask the question. Let me, let's see. Oh, it's not even the book. Oh my God. I swear to God. I switched them. Okay, here. Blinded by bias. Bias is defined as a prejudice that has a person favoring a belief, an ideology, person, or group over another, often unfairly and without an informed reason. While some preferences, like for strawberry over chocolate, are innocent, bias in the foundation of all aggression. Oh, bias is the foundation of all aggression, oppression, inequality, stereotyping, and social injustice. We can be good people at our core, but become less wise, less accepting, and empathetic because of our biases. Even our ability to receive advice and help can be unduly affected. There's very little that's not influenced by our personal and often unconscious biases. Whew. It's that whole thing of refusing things that are true, truthful, all because of fear. Sometimes our bias chooses fear over truth, because with fear, we already know. We've lived there for so long, it's comfortable. With truth, that's uncharted territory, so we have no idea. Don't let yourself be blinded by bias. Here and now. Allow yourself to exist in the here and now. Allow all the things that you go through to be your focus in the here and the now. So there's this little thing that I have a tendency to do, not intentionally, but I find that I do this quite a bit. I don't allow myself to move on from a situation until I've processed it enough. I still compartmentalize, but I don't just continue on. I hyperfixate on that situation for a prolonged period before I allow myself to move forward. So long as I'm hyperfixated on that situation, that circumstance, I don't allow any other circumstance to happen to me. I won't give consent for that. I will not participate in it. I will just be fixated on the task at hand. And I'm wondering if that type of trauma response is even a trauma response. I'm wondering if it's just an elevation in my ability, my capacity to process my life and its events. I mean, how are you going to keep eating food if you're not digesting what you already ate? And then we wonder why we feel uncomfortably full. I don't know. Maybe we need to process. Oh, see, process and absorb. So I'm saying, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Process and absorb. Okay. You have to allow yourself all of that. What do you seek? What are you seeking out? Are you seeking out healing? Or are you seeking out an environment where you can continue to talk about the same problems the whole time while not trying to find a solution? Because we have certain friends, this is what I've noticed for people. We have certain friends where we can just talk shit all day, right? They'll talk shit right along with us, whether they know what's going on or not, whether they know the person or not. They will just go ahead and just talk shit all day right along with us, right? Like, "Oh, I don't like so and so." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I know. It's a total bitch." "Oh, you know them?" "Well, no, they look like a bitch." I'm just like, "What am I witnessing here?" You know? And then there's some of us who have friends who what ends up happening is, you know, you tell them what's going on, they let you vent for a little bit, and then they try and shift it. They try and help you find a way to process and move beyond it. Be careful of what you keep around you. When you seek out people to talk shit with, I promise you, they will talk shit about you too. I've had former friends, the eye roll. I've had former friends who would consistently talk shit about people in this group chat that I was in. And I'm just like, I would joke around and try and like lighten the mood and hopefully change the subject. And they would just keep talking shit about the same thing. And then I was just like, "Oh, why am I in this chat?" Why am I in this chat? Like, all they do is fucking talk shit about people they don't even know. They don't even know these people. Why are they talking shit? And then I realized, you know what? They're probably talking shit about me too. They're probably talking shit about me. And then I was like, no, I haven't done anything to them. I don't talk shit about people and I don't, I haven't done anything. Oh, lo and behold. Lo and behold. Oh, they were talking shit about me. They were. They were talking mad shit about me. I already knew, you know? I already knew. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised. And maybe I needed to go through that just to be able to like really validate, reaffirm that my assumption of if you're going to talk shit to me about someone else, you probably talk shit about me to someone else. That's valid. That's in their character. It's not like, oh, poor me. No, no, no. That's their character. They're showing you who they are and how they are. I don't hang around people who just talk shit about others. You know, none of my girlfriends do that. They don't talk shit about people just for the sake of talking shit. Hmm. So, who are you seeking out to help you process your life and the traumas? If you are seeking out people who do nothing but talk shit, it's that whole boomerang effect. It will circle back to you. Eventually, it will circle back to you. Whether you talk shit or not, I figured, well, I don't talk shit about anyone. I never talk shit about anyone to them. Didn't matter. It didn't matter. They still found a reason to talk shit about me. And no, I'm not a victim. I told you guys that. I'm not a victim. These are my processes of learning about these assumptions that I have and how valid those assumptions are. And that I need to really stop with this thing that I used to tell myself of like, oh my God, I'm being so mean, thinking the truth. When you phrase it like that, I'm being so mean, thinking the truth. I mean, that sounds obnoxious, doesn't it? That sounds like highly obnoxious to shame yourself for seeing the truth about someone's character. Mm-mm. Cause and effect. Whatever you choose will lead to the effect. You know, they will lead to the effects that you are experiencing. Your path alone. Your path is for you to walk alone. If, like me, you have sought out other people because you felt like, you don't want to do your path alone, that opens you up to a lot of unnecessary struggle and drama, simply because if you have a level of integrity that these other people don't have, and you're in their presence simply because you don't want to be alone. And I found that people who keep others in their presence just because that person doesn't want to be alone, there's no genuine connection. There's no genuine connection. Let that really just marinate. Sip on it, swish it around, gurgle it before you swallow. If you have no genuine connection, why are you connected to them? Because you don't want to be alone? They have no loyalty to you, I promise you. I promise you. There's no point in being in situations or connections where the person does not have loyalty to you the way you have loyalty to them. That's how you set yourself up for some major, major stuff, negative stuff, bad stuff. Okay. Ooh, damn. Bow to your partner, then you turn around. Let me just. Michael says to pull a couple cards from here, and then we're going to call it a day. All right. He says I cheated. Whatever. Says I'm not allowed to see the cards. All right. I won't look. All right. Imagination. So this kind of makes me feel like we're telling ourselves some hokey pokey story in our heads about something, some situation that maybe you're struggling through, some something. I don't know what. Something. There's a struggle going on, it's an internal one, and you're telling yourself a story that's just not the reality of what's going on. You gotta let that go. Okay. It's already rotting. That story is rotting. Just bury it. Bury it. Cover it up with some dirt. Let some flowers grow from it. I don't know. Bury it. Okay. Don't continue with something that has long since expired. It's been expired for so long, and you're still trying to make it relevant for you. Don't do that anymore. Okay. It's about letting go, about setting yourself free, about just going forward in life. Initiation. This reminds me of initiative, the word initiative. Are you not taking the initiative? See, here's the thing. If you're not going to create opportunities for yourself, if you're not going to take the initiative to create opportunities that can lead to abundance, to a space of thriving, then you really have no one to blame when you have no opportunities. There are some people who exist who, they wait for opportunities and then they get upset when they don't have an opportunity. And I'm calling bullshit on that. No one just handed me a platform. Nobody. As a matter of fact, quite a few people worked so diligently to try and tear me down from the platform. I took the initiative to create a platform for myself to be able to be seen so I can serve some purpose that I felt that I had to be seen. Not to be famous, just to be witnessed. Everything that I've done, everything that I've accomplished, I took the initiative and created a situation that led to what I was working towards. You want to have a happy life? Create some opportunities by using initiative. I cannot stand when people are like, "Oh, but no one made me. No one told me." Okay, motherfucker. Sorry. Do I got to tell you to breathe? You breathe anyways. It's kind of just like take the initiative. Create opportunities for you to elevate yourself. Telling you to create opportunities for yourself is not the same as me telling you to use people, to step on people, to climb. That's not what I'm saying. See, whoever that was, I heard that has an indication of your character, not mine. Because when I say create an initiative, take the initiative to create an opportunity, that's about networking. It's about talking to people. At no point does it enter into my mind to screw people over to have an opportunity. See, I don't have to compete with people. I'm in a class on my own. It tells you a lot what kind of person you are based on the first thing you think of in response to something profound. If you immediately think of screwing people over, oh, no, no, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, I wouldn't screw people over, but you thought of it. You wouldn't screw people over because you're afraid of getting caught. But if you didn't get caught, you absolutely would. That's what your energy tells me. See, even if I wouldn't get caught, that's just not in my character. That's not how I am. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. I'm not okay with that. I'm not even okay with witnessing people do that to other people. You see what I'm saying? So that doesn't enter into my mind. Just like when certain types of statements are made, the first thing that enters into my mind is not about, oh, you're trying to take their money because I don't function that way. That's like narcissistic, when narcissistic people, they accuse you of things like, "Oh, why did you suddenly pick up your phone?" Well, because it was vibrating. Why would I not pick up my phone? "Oh, you're hiding something because it's vibrating." No, it's vibrating because I was in a meeting and I forgot to take it off vibrate. You know, I'm not someone who cheats. That's not my thing. So that's not the first thing I think of when I hear my husband's phone's on vibrate. Like, I don't think of that. I'm just like, "Oh, hey, your phone's vibrating. You want to answer that?" You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of who we are that we hide from ourselves, we can actually begin to figure it out based on the way we react to people, the way we interpret the things that are said, our knee jerk reaction, our knee jerk interpretation. Those are the things that tell you exactly who you are. And if you don't like what it's telling you, you have the power to change that. That's a beautiful thing about being a human being. You have the power to change that. You don't have to remain that way your whole life. You can become whoever you want to be. I'm not talking about faking. I'm talking about allowing yourself to grow. I'm talking about allowing yourself to expand and become a different expression of a different truth that exists within you. So there's a part of me that's very docile and very introverted and non confrontational. And then there's this other part of me that's not so docile, that can very much be aggressive and confrontational in your face and very much asserting my dominance that I know I can dominate you. Those are both very valid aspects of me. And there are so many different aspects that exist in between those opposing polarities. You see, I'm a whole person. I'm not a caricature that can only behave in one specific way, and neither are you. You are not some fictitious character that can only behave in one specific way. And the more you allow other people to try and convince you that that's all you get in life, the more you are giving your power away and allowing them to dictate to you who you are. Are you okay with that? Because if you're not okay with that, you can't be acting like you are. Because see, that's how it creates issues for you. When you act like you're okay with something, if you're really not, don't act like you're okay with it. Because then you begin to present yourself as a liar. Some people might be like, oh my God, Emmie, that is too much. Just because I'm uncomfortable saying something doesn't make me a liar. I didn't say you're a liar. I'm saying it presents you as one. So if you're not actually a liar, don't behave in a way that presents you as a liar. It's about your energy matching your words, matching your behaviors, matching your logic, matching your perception. It's about being a whole person, a whole being, allowing yourself to enter into that space where you are being organically, authentically you. Not no manufactured authenticity. Okay. Organic portals, people who are soulless, go ahead and look that up. Organic portal. They're very good at regurgitation of the things that they hear. That's how they work their way into your life. They regurgitate the things that sound profound, either from you or from people who are like you, but are more elevated in experience than you. They will regurgitate it, and you will think, oh, I found my tribe. In reality, you found an organic portal. When you speak your truth, it is your truth, not a regurgitation of someone else. If you are not an organic portal, do not live your life as though you are, where you are nothing but a regurgitation of someone else's thoughts. I'm not saying Jason Silva is an organic portal. I'm not saying that at all. But I will share this. Okay. Years ago, I came across Jason Silva's work. Oh my God, profound speaker. Like the way he expresses, the enunciation, the tonal quality of his voice. Amazing. Amazing. At one point, I was just like, I would love to just lick his brain. And then I realized, oh no, I didn't want to lick his brain. He's just regurgitating other people's words. He's not thinking for himself. Oh my God. Ew. And suddenly his delivery wasn't so profound. Suddenly it was just like, oh God, who are you regurgitating today? Don't be a regurgitator. Be the real deal. You don't have to know the big words. You don't have to read all of these profound esoteric texts and no, just be you. You can't find organic. I'll get you a link. Hold up. Um, mm, Here, we'll get you a link from Kiora just to start your researching. There. If you just search up organic portal, excuse me, it will definitely bring up chemistry. If you search organic portal people, it will bring up more of the spiritual topics. So there, there you go. There's one link for you to use to start your deep dive into that rabbit hole. Respect in reverse. This is a thing of not having respect for the proper things that need respect. I'm wondering if it's indications that, or indicates that you're not having self-respect. You know, you got to respect your needs. You got to respect your boundaries. When you respect your needs and you respect your boundaries, you no longer will allow other people to disrespect it. That's part of your growth cycle. Allow yourself to grow. Guardian in reverse, you don't need to be guarded. You don't need someone to um, be present or like in front of you and, making sure you're safe all the time. You don't actually need that all the time. There will be some situations in life where you might, but for the most part, you don't need that. That's being used as a crutch. So long as you continue to use a crutch despite not being lame, you will create, you will be the one to create that lameness. I remember one time my brother was sharing with me that one of his bodywork clients had come over. It's like a friend of his, and the teenage son, I guess, plays high school sports or something like that. And he injured a muscle or a leg. I think it was his leg. He injured something, and he ended up having to have body work done. The reason his mom took him is because the doctors gave up. They're like, oh, no, you can't fix that. He needs to have surgery. And so luckily, this boy's mom is friends with my brother. And he was like, no, you don't need surgery for that. And I'm just like, gotta be careful. You don't want to go against what the doctors say. Be careful. Just, to cover yourself. And he's like, no, you don't need surgery for that. They're just giving up on him. And then he sent me video. This kid couldn't squat. He really couldn't move. He couldn't even really stand up straight, if I remember right. And after one session, he could do full squats. He had full range of motion. And I was like, what? How did that happen? He goes, well, he got hurt. He babied it too much, lost range of motion, scared him more. And then it became stuck. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. It totally makes sense. When you believe that you're crippled, you have the capacity to make that your reality. You absolutely have the capacity to make that your reality. Science terms it psychosomatic symptoms. Psychosomatic. So I remember one time my brother was like, he did need to go to the ER. Don't get me wrong. He did need to go, but not for the reason he thought. And he's like arguing with me about he doesn't need to go to the ER for this, but he needs to go to the ER for that. And I was at a point where I was just like, just go to the fucking ER. Call 911, go to the ER. Who cares? Let the doctors decide. And so, I was right. I was right. He wasn't having the things he wasn't having the medical condition that he thought he had. He had the medical condition that I told him he had. And he's like still trying to prove he's right. It was hilarious. And he's talking to his nurse, and I'm just like, it's psychosomatic. He doesn't really have that. Hey, would you stop? I'm like, what? He goes, I am not psycho. I said, I didn't say you're psycho. I said that's psychosomatic, meaning you believe it so deeply, you're creating the symptoms to appear. And the nurse started laughing. She goes, it is psychosomatic. But, I don't want to laugh too hard because he's been through a lot medically. So I was just like, bro, you're not actually dying. Psychosomatic. So after that, for like months, anytime I would FaceTime him, he's like, "What, psychosomatic?" I'm like, "Oh my God, whatever." You have to stabilize yourself, but don't use crutches if you're not actually lame. Just because you have access to the crutch doesn't mean it's necessary. Okay? Just because you have access doesn't mean you need it. You can actually create much more problems using that when it's not necessary. My mom had a walker, and my husband was trying to teach me how to longboard. So my husband does all these like things. He does like BMX stuff, tricks, and he does like skateboarding tricks and shit, right? And I was trying to be like sexy old woman, you know? It's not really old. I'm not that old, so it's whatever. But that was my thing. That was gonna be my thing. I was gonna be like sexy old girl on a longboard. I was trying to keep up with him. And I told him I want a longboard for my birthday. And so my son got me a longboard. And then my husband's like, he's gonna teach me. He's like, yeah, my wife is badass. Except I can't balance. It took me like 2 or 3 years to learn how to balance on a Razor scooter. And I was telling him, he was trying to like hold my hand and I couldn't balance. And so he was just like, we'll just stop. And then I was like, no, I'm going to learn this for my 40th birthday. No, boo, I didn't learn. I'm trying to integrate this story into the reading. So I had this really good idea. Skateboards have wheels. Walkers have wheels. I'm going to use the walker with the skateboard because they both have wheels. And if I just have something to hold on to, I can totally skateboard. So the walker has casters. And depending on how you lean on the longboard, that determines if you go left or right. For some reason, my feet kept going right and the walker kept going left. And moon rock, you got it. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So don't do that. Just because it seems good. Just because it seems like a good idea. Okay, let's just be real. Any of my ideas are bad ideas. Any of my ideas when it comes to things like that are really ideas that simply exist to test my theory that I'm so divinely protected. There's no way Mikey would let me break my leg. I won't be able to work. There's no way he would let me twist my ankle. I'm protected. So after I nearly broke my leg, I said, I just should maybe stop. The whole time, my husband was on the sidewalk looking at me like, I'm like, what? I'm doing it. Look at me go with the stroller. He goes, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. And I'm like, you just don't believe. Hence the reason he told me not to get on the pit bike. I feel like I could ride it. I'll show you guys a picture. Cracks me up. So he got a pit bike and it's my size. I don't understand. He's like, you're gonna get thrown off of it. You just don't believe is what it is. He says that I just don't. I told him that he just doesn't believe, and he needs to believe in me more because the bike is my size. It's my size. And he was just saying like, "No, no, you're not allowed to ride that." Then why did you buy it? Why did you get a pit bike then? It's my size. It's perfect for me. I wanted to go back and get I wanted to go back to the spot. Actually, we did go back to the spot where he got it to get training wheels. I wanted to get training wheels. I don't know why someone had to be selfish and buy the one that had the only training wheels in the store. Because I was like, "Oh, I want this one." And then the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, we just sold that. Like right before you came in, we sold it." And then I said like, "Well, do you have other training wheels?" And they're like, "No, that's the only training wheels we have." I'm like, what am I gonna do?" And my husband was like, "Well, if you can't ride it real with no training wheels." See, look, this was the day I thought I was just so badass. I was like, "I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna ride it." And that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Hold on. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. You guys got to see, it's just like a perfect size for me. Perfect size for me. He just has no faith. If we're going to be honest, I don't really have faith either, but I'm just saying, I think if he just It's so my size. Look at that. I could reach the ground and everything. Like, I don't even have to lean. It's like my size. It's my size. Then he said I couldn't ride it. Tell me I wouldn't look badass driving down the road with that. I'm just saying, he didn't have any belief. He didn't have faith. He didn't have faith. That was the problem, is he didn't have faith. Granted, it has like 2 gears, and when you switch it into second gear from first gear, it tries to buck you off because I don't know, something about the throttling too high. But I mean, I don't care. It's my size. See, I don't need you to get hurt. He kept, I don't need you to get hurt. No faith. No faith in me at all. None. And, you know, I can't balance. Oh, it has 3 gears. So he did, before I took that picture or after, no, after I took that picture where I'm like I'm badass, right? And like he goes, "Fine," because he saw my face, and I'm just like, and he gets off of the bike, the pit bike, and he goes, "Fine, there, go ahead, you can do it." And then I sat on it while it was on, and I was like, "No, no, 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 I'm I'm gonna hurt myself," because we were on gravel. I was like, "Mm-mm, mm-mm." We were on gravel on a mountain. So I'm just gonna remember it as I chose not to write it because he didn't support me. He didn't believe in me. Has absolutely nothing to do with my realization that once I was sitting on it with it on, I was like, "I'm gonna get pretty fucked up with this." I foresee me getting really fucked up on this one. Okay, so the reality is, um, I actually saw Michael. I was gonna do it anyways because I was so pissed off, right? I was like, "How dare you not believe in me?" I was gonna just do it anyways, just to prove him, just to prove, like, "You married a badass, understand that, remember that, take some notes, take a video. Your wife is badass." Because that was my logic. And then I saw Michael and he goes and I was like, "I'm gonna get hurt, huh? Like, bad?" I was like, "I don't wanna write anymore because you don't believe in me. I don't wanna write anymore because you don't believe in me, so just I'm gonna go inside the house now." Yeah, no, that's actually what happened. Now he knows the truth. I don't care. Yeah, no, I was like, "I'm gonna get hurt, huh?" He's like, "You gonna get real fucked up." Because see, the thing is, I think that if I had fallen off, I probably wouldn't have let go of the gas because that's what I was seeing. I probably would not have let go of the gas, and it probably would have kept going with me being dragged. And on top of that, part of what I kind of saw when I was like, "I'm just gonna go inside the house now." um, I fell off and it kept going a couple more feet, and then finally it fell over, and then because of the wheel still turning really fucking fast, it went and it just hit me in the head. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get real fucked up with that one. That one's really gonna fuck me up." Yeah, Frey already knew. There's no clutch to it. Yeah, I think that was my logic was I'll just pull the clutch. And he's like, "There's no clutch." And I was like, "Hmm, might not be a good idea." Yeah, the whiskey throttle when you don't let go of the gas. Yeah, I would have been all whiskey. I would have been all whiskey. Yeah, no, so I didn't write it. But, I mean, tell me my little bike doesn't look badass. The original idea was that we were gonna get matching Groms and go on little bike rides through the mountains. Um, I couldn't touch my feet on the Grom. My feet wouldn't reach the ground. And nobody call me small. Don't give me that bullshit that I'm a small person because I'm not. I'm a big bad motherfucker. I'm just saying. All right. I'm gonna end this live. It's gone way somewhere else. Let me just end this. Hold on. So you guys, I believe. Oh, I do have a bicycle. I do have a bicycle, and we're still on a mountain. And apparently, it's damn near impossible to use a beach cruiser, like, on any type of incline. We didn't think that one out. We didn't think that one out when he got me a beach cruiser. So, I actually can't do the bicycle instead. I have to just sit in the passenger seat of the car where I'm safe. And that's just kind of how it has to be. I have to sit in the passenger seat where I'm safe with my seatbelt on and my seat pulled away from the dashboard so that I don't bang my head on the dashboard. Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, no, Angela, I don't need that toxicity here. She says, hence the term beach. Boo, don't be toxic right now. Yeah, and my husband said the same damn thing. He said the same damn thing. He was like, "You can't use a beach cruiser on incline." Yes, I can. I'm tired of you guys supporting his toxicity. I'm tired of you supporting his toxicity. He told me I couldn't use the little motorbike. He said I can't use a beach cruiser on an incline. I'm gonna go ride a bike as soon as we're done here just to prove that I can. No, I really can't. I really can't. First off, when I made the mistake of going downhill, I think the wheel was gonna come off, and I was just in my head yelling, "Michael, remember our deal? I am not allowed to be hurt." Right? And it wouldn't slow down despite me going backwards on the pedals as the brake. The shit wouldn't stop. It just slowed it a little bit. I was like, "Oh, this is so not safe." And I figured if I go uphill, it's no big deal. I'll continue the momentum, make a wide U-turn, and use that same momentum to go up the hill. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it worked for me at all. I got off the bike like a responsible adult and walked it back up the hill. I have bad knees, and I just really could not be bothered that day to be injured at the bottom of a hill when I had a session in 30 minutes. So I walked that stupid beach cruiser back up the hill. I'm gonna need a different bike. Or I could just stay in the house. I don't care. I'll just stay in the house. It's no big deal. I'll watch it from the window. It's okay. I don't feel left out at all. I just watch from the window. So you guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. In addition to that, Angela, aren't you mad at me? She says, "What about an ATV? Do you want me to be unalive?" I'm not a big person. If an ATV falls on me, I will unalive myself. Yo, for real. I don't know that I'm allowed to drive an adult ATV. I'm like, is that legal? Do I have to get like the adolescent one? Is like, do you have to be a certain height? Oh shit. Do you have to be a certain height for a regular ATV? Because when we were looking at the motorcycles, they looked pretty big. They looked really big. You could fit quite a few of me on there. Like quite a few of me. And I was just like, this feels very dangerous. My husband said, "I'm not getting you that." And but it has four wheels, like it doesn't involve balance. No, no, no. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna try and do expedites. Let's start a girl biker gang. You know what? Boo, you get a motorbike and I will ride in that little bucket on the side. We'll be the baddest bitches out there. I'm telling you. I'll ride in the little buggy on the side. Okay. She said I do. Okay, get a little buggy for me. I'll ride beside you. I'll hold the flag. Do you guys do flags? We'll run a flag. We'll do it. And can I get like a little side buggy for my dog? She's small. She's small. We could do like a threesome there. Bye, guys. I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.